Hi, everybody. Welcome to Paws and Claws, the Lost Tales of Pugmire. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jess. You might see me down in the chat as Angry Nerd Girl. And let's meet our no dogs tonight. Let's meet our cats and lizard. Send Lynn some love on Twitter. She's not feeling so good today. So let's start with Omega. Tell us who you are. Tell us about your
Alexa
cat.
first. Hello, my name is Omega Jones, also known as Critical Bard. I am playing the inebriated hot mess, Marius Vanette. Um, yeah, that's him.
Cameron, tell us who you are. Tell us about your cat.
Hey everyone, my name is Cameron Blair, and you are seeing me play Jean-Pierre Cachet, the most revolutionary cat. Oui, that is all.
Alan, tell us who you are and tell us about your lizard.
Hello, I am Alan C. Johnson, and I am playing Erasmus Warren's child, the retainer of House Mal.
And lastly, never leastly, Honey, tell us who you are and tell us about your cat.
I am Honey, aka Honey and Dice, and I am playing the meow-nificent Minister of Music, Miss Eartha Kitty.
So, as you know, we have 3 cookies in the fortune bowl. For 1 extra cookie in there, who would like to tell me what happened previously on Paws and Claws?
I have notes. I just have to find them. Pause and clause. Boom. But the question is, did I take all the notes? I don't think I did. Maybe I did. Oh, I did. Okay, I
It
took
was
enough.
some of
I
your
took
first
enough.
combats.
I took enough. This is going to be like a bullshit version of the notes because I'm tired. Let's see. It was storming, and Erasmus woke Marius up. Marius has a migraine for obvious reasons. It is raining, so Erasmus has a bigger hat, and it's adorable. JP was up in the morning and headed to where Eartha was, waiting on a nearby rooftop. There was apparently a cat, a bedraggled cat, specifically climbing up Eartha's house. I believe Erasmus saw them. I don't know if JP saw them or not. But Erasmus went to the door to knock on Eartha's door. And there was a cat who greeted him. Meanwhile, Baguette did notice that the cat was Sandy. Blah, 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 blah. After some random shit happens, JP finally came in, and Sandy was like, "Oh my God, JP, you're alive," which meant they know each other in some way, shape, or form. We started talking upstairs, but we all decided to take the meeting downstairs because we're not going to talk in the middle of in the house. Earth is definitely not having that. So we go downstairs. Blah 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 blah. Sandy did ask Erasmus if Tyrion Von Rex sent him, and JP was like, "Huh, the book." Sandy does know that war is coming, and he knows 3 of the houses have dangerous creatures, and monarchies won't play fair. And Gora probably has a Sphinx. Simrake has something, and Korat has something really big. Shadow Block wants peace, apparently. And Morty also got some information from Rex a couple of weeks ago. I wrote that down, don't know why. Blah, 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 blah. JP did ask if Sandy has heard anything about the heir of Mao, which Marius was like, LOL, and said nothing too. Sandy mentioned being sad, everybody being sad about Marius's father's death. About the death of the head of Mao, and JP was like, you don't give a shit. But blah, blah, blah. Sandy believes Baguette being the daughter of Morty Corgi could be the key to winning or ending the war. Eartha does ask Sandy to be much more specific about what he wants Baguette to do. He says he either wants her to find the Sphinx or take out the big thing that Corette has. Eartha opens up her telepathic bond with JP, saying like she can't do this alone. We know we can't do this. She needs to figure out how many houses has blind faith and what Morty Corgi sells. They also had an argument about morals. That was interesting. It was all telepathic though. Blah, blah. Some random shit happens. We did hear some feet outside. And the one of the people that's living with Eartha has a package that's dropped for Alessandra von Rex. And it says, Rex, you should have known, with a purple paw print on it that's hissing inside the box. And we find out there's some, whatever the fuck they're called, basically electric snake thingies that we fuck up, basically. But specifically, Eartha does dominate one of the snake thingies. And when she peers deeper after Erasmus and Marius hold it down, she sees an ancient, massive, radiant cat. This thing is called the Naga Yaga, and it is connected to Cymric. And that's really what we know. And the cat lady did tell the snakes they have a message to deliver, which means Cymric is working with this cat lady thingy to we don't know. And that's where we're at, basically.
Yeah, that gives fortune.
Thank God for that. You take better notes than I do, because the last thing I wrote was we hit a metal snake with another metal snake, so which technically was accurate, but
that is also accurate, but would not have gotten you a fortune.
Understand.
I write down enough. It might not make the sense all the time, but I write down enough. Okay.
So,
session
2 weeks later,
5.
you've all been engaged in your
We're
various...
engaged?
Oh my God!
Yes,
When's the
you're
wedding?
all engaged to each other.
No.
That ain't gonna work out. Sorry, Chief.
You've all been engaged doing your various secretive activities. But Marius visiting Julian, you saw that he was very pleased to see you, but he's reticent to leave his house. He's not very comfortable there. Erasmus keeps leaving.
Valid.
Going out on his own. And Jean-Pierre has been business as usual, but those new bombs are working very well. And I don't know how much you want me to say about what's been going on behind the scenes with your organization.
Nothing about specific actions,
Okay.
but I'm sure the general morale of agitation of the common folk, the peasantry, is good.
Yes.
A rebel never kisses and tells, please.
Yes. And Eartha, you have sent several letters, received several, and had a meeting. And in response to your letter to House Siberian, would you like to share what you wrote to House Siberian?
What the
Verbatim,
fuck?
that's just what it said.
No, it would have been a very formal letter where she basically wrote to a contact she's familiar with at Siberian, aka someone that had to put up with her years ago, with the note that they received with the paw print, and some of the debris that was left over from the snakes. And it's one of those letters that's written so formally that the level of formality in and of itself is a diss. As she is like, last time I resided in the Monarchs, Siberian was a house renowned for its cool and collected control of its own assets. I cannot believe someone would force such a it's just very... I worry about the safety and security of those of us who are still even loosely affiliated with your house. Can you please explain how this came to you? And that's just the gist of it. Because it's basically like, oh, I thought y'all were all that. How somebody frame you like this, though? How somebody frame you like this, though? And she is in the final act of rebellion. She does use the signature Eartha Kitty as opposed to what they would expect her to use.
All right.
Hell yeah, fuck him.
So you get a return letter that is addressed to your original first name,
Mm-hmm.
but with the last name Kitty,
Mm-hmm.
as if they're trying but also kind of telling you to fuck off. From Grushenka, the Siberian rep, who the Dynas sister who had been at your party.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "Dearest Miss Kitty, too much to say in a letter. Please come to tea at my home tomorrow." This is the letter that you got yesterday, basically.
Mm-hmm.
My home for tea. There is much we need to discuss about the future of House Siberian, and in fact, us all.
Yep. So after that, there was some pillows in the guest room. There are now several bags of shredded pillow parts and feathers in some bags. Nobody knows how they got there, but there's just a moment of receiving the letter, folding it neatly, going to the guest bedroom, shutting the door. Then she comes back out and just bags of shredded pillows. But yeah, she would prepare for that tea.
So what do you bring into tea? Or what are you wearing to tea?
She, for once, is going to be in her house colors, which is not something she does very often. The black and the purple. But her unique style, very well done. You know, she's got, instead of wearing the equivalent of a gown, she's got the leather armor and the purple accents and the boots and her well groomed, like she is putting on the show of, yes, I know I'm all that. And then some. And she's bringing, you know, whatever the traditional gift is to bring with you, just all of the social expectations she'll have prepared to meet the tea and the letter that is her invitation and all of that. But
I think the traditional gift is a knife, isn't it? Like, this is the monarchy's.
Depends on the house.
yeah.
So I think
But
for
yeah,
Cora, it's
she's
an axe.
she's just getting ready to go and nervous as usual, but headed out.
Okay. So as you head out the door, let's check in with Erasmus.
Hey, it's me.
Do you want to tell us what you found over the last 2 weeks, or are you keeping that close to the vest? What you went to do while you left Marius?
Oh, I'm more than happy to do so. After their fun little meeting with Eartha and Jean-Pierre and everything that happened after that, Erasmus has basically been keeping up with his duties to the house and Lady Threnody, but has also been getting a couple resources of the house of his own to see what he could ferret out about any holdings or meetings of the Claw of the Common Cat. You know, trying to have a couple people attempt to tail JP, which, I mean, Cam, what's your stealth again?
I think it's plus 12.
Like I said, attempt to follow JP.
Plus 10. Sorry, I was giving myself too much.
No, plus 10, of course. My bad. But yeah, have a couple people
your
attempt to follow
passive
JP.
stealth is 20.
Yeah.
But just generally try to keep tabs on both him and any of his people wherever they may be meeting, that sort of thing. Just, you know, keeping an eye on things.
So Jean-Pierre, how aware of you? How aware are you of this?
I'd say decently aware.
Okay.
I mean, Jean-Pierre I mean, it's the reason he left is he knew there would be too many eyes on him. So coming back, he's always very aware of people following him and where things are meeting. It's why, like, there's no real people in charge. There's just very spread out. There's centralized ideas and movements, but there's more like cells
Yeah.
that all share the same idea. And then there's the pamphlet machine, so to say, that is just like, here's our ideas. Here's what you should be doing. You should be organizing your workplaces. You should be protecting your communities and not relying on the monarchies, becoming your own individual communes. And then we'll all band together and overthrow them and everything like that. So the like Jean-Pierre is the most active terrorist, so to say. He's the one with his two little compatriots go out and blow up like skirmish depots for the military that blow up supply lines and take out generals and important lieutenants and things like that. So that's no, not really too successful, I would say. I mean, I'm sure Erasmus sees JP plant a bomb in a caravan and a few other acts like that, but no real like, all right, this is where they meet every week.
Yeah. I will say in any of those instances, both he personally and anyone he has following them are under orders not to interfere in any way. Good to know, though.
You muted, Jess.
Do you take Marius with you on any of these missions, or do you just go out?
Sorry, somehow seeing you really visually just go, oh, fuck, was much better than hearing it. But I think at least for a couple of them, he would take Marius. This is probably one of those just like, hey, sport, let's get out of the house and go take a walk, get some fresh air.
Valid.
But not tell him what they're doing. Just be like, if he catches on, then it's like, hey, good for you. You're learning. Because, I mean, Marius is actually a super perceptive person, I think.
Yes, I am.
Cat.
Yeah. So he might pick up on it. It's just like, hey, wasn't that JP? No, don't worry about it. Let's get a corn dog.
But see, that's exactly what it is right
corn
there.
dog.
He sees a lot, but the retaining is the question.
Mm.
And is it because he's not smart, or is he just not thinking about it? Or is he just like, the next fleeting thing is what's on his mind? So, like, I think he's like, oh, yeah, hey, oh, okay.
It's all right. Retaining is my job. I get paid for it. Hence the retainer.
Yeah.
So, Jean-Pierre, you have your next mission.
Oui.
And you arrive, I'm assuming, at night?
Oui.
Okay. So you arrive at a well-guarded, pretty fancy stone building with banners showing the Mao sign, like the yellow eye, and the purple claw of Siberian. There's darkened windows since it's night, but this is several stories. There's also a cellar, and you see some cat and mouse servants going in and out. There's a couple dogs standing guard.
What's the roof looking like? Is it a keep sort of building, or is it vaulted? Is there a specific type of architecture?
I really should learn the names of architectural styles besides like Gothic. It's like a square building. It's like a manor.
Okay. So roughly square shaped. Uh-huh.
So a vaulted roof, yeah.
Like a flat roof.
Pointy. It's
no,
a flat
like
roof.
A flat roof.
Okay. Is there any guard up there?
Give me a perception check. Or a notice check.
So if you had to place the time period of the design of this building, Jess, what would you call it?
I was gonna say, like, it's like a Jane Austen house, but it's much smaller.
22.
22? Okay. Yeah, you see that there's two guards sitting on the roof. They appear to be like playing cards.
Okay.
It's a dog and a cat.
Omega, it's to the Siberian outpost in Mao.
Thank you.
Yep. And there's a cellar access.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's not being guarded.
No.
It's on patrol. Okay.
You see a couple like servants coming up from the cellar stairs.
Okay. Do I have anyone?
Thank you. Yes, it's Regency.
There we go.
Thank you, cat.
So is it? Do I have anyone on the inside?
Rolling a percentile die.
Oh. 3.
3.
Yeah.
Yes, you have 3 mice on the inside.
How? I'll just float down to where the servants are coming in and out.
Okay.
And just walk in like nothing ever happened.
What are you wearing?
Black, like as a mix of black and dark navy blue, so as to stay in color with the night sky and the shadows.
Okay. Like Batman.
Yeah,
Okay.
except a cat.
So you're Catman.
Yeah.
Okay. So, some of the mouse servants, like, who don't recognize you, were a little confused, but you're walking like you know where you're going, so nobody really stops you.
Yeah. So just walk in. I'm assuming that this is just like a food cellar.
Mm-hmm. Food and wine.
I'll explore the rest of the cellar to see if there's any sign of what I'm looking for.
Okay. Give me a search check, please.
I believe that is... Oh, no, that's higher. That's a non-natural 20.
Okay. So, you find an armory down here, but it's not exactly the kind of thing you were looking for. But what's more interesting is a trail of gunpowder that leads upstairs.
I'll follow it determinedly.
Okay. Erasmus, have you been following Jean-Pierre?
If someone would have tipped him off that they saw him out and about, probably.
Okay.
And this seems like a good excuse to take Marius along for a nice nighttime stroll.
Okay.
This isn't like hardcore shadowing. This is just like, keeping track where he's going and following. But
Okay. So what would your... Let's see, because Jean-Pierre didn't really seem to be sneaking into House Siberian. He just walked right in. So what
True.
would be your response upon seeing that?
You said he went in the cellar, right? Where the
Yep.
servants were coming in and out of? Yeah. Kind of just probably like on the other side of the street, just kind of like casually watching, raise the eyebrows, look at Mary, say, well, that's certainly interesting. He didn't look like he had an invitation.
What? I was looking at the cheese dog. Say that again.
So if you didn't notice, our new friend just went into House Siberian's wonderful abode over there.
Oh. Is he friends with people over there? He probably is. Maybe. Actually. Does he have friends? I don't know.
Presumably at least a few from what I've seen. But No doubt he is up to important business. And here I just came to take you out for a nice walk through the town, that sort of thing. Funny how we keep stumbling upon him.
Yeah, well, I mean, he did kind of say he gets around, so I guess it makes sense, Mao isn't that. I guess Mao is big enough, but we walk, and he walks or floats. Can we
bit
float?
Of both, I think. I think for now, Erasmus isn't going to bust into the house, since I'm assuming he doesn't know what's going on or why he's there. He's just going to, for now at least, just linger outside. Wait and see if there's any screams or anything like that.
Marius is just kind of, he's there. He might sit on the ground for a second and just chill, or he might lean against something. He really doesn't know what's happening, but he's not expecting anything to be happening. So he's just like, okay, we're outside. We're chilling. Okay. Thanks, Dad.
Thank God he's so trusting.
Don't say that. Don't hurt me like that.
So you start to hear some distant rumbling thunder. It hasn't started to rain yet, but a fog moves in. There's some weird Mao weather, and Eartha, you hear a very persistent knock at your door.
She'll open it. She's... Yes, can I help you?
And you see a cat fully dressed in Siberian regalia.
She starts to shut the door. It's an automatic reflex. He's like, oh, you must have the wrong house.
Knock, 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 knock.
She opens it and peeks out. Yes.
I'm here on account of Grushenka von Siberian for Miss Miss Kitty.
Yes.
Grushenka is going to be called away urgently tomorrow and requests that tea be changed to drinks imminently. You can come in my carriage.
Will you please excuse me? I have to go get ready because I was preparing for tea for tomorrow, and so now I'm getting ready today, and I am still in my... Does not matter. Just... And she'd normally invite somebody in because the weather seems bad. Mm-hmm. She says, just... The equivalent of hold, please. Shuts the door, and she's gonna go get ready.
You hear a knock again as you leave, take 2 steps away.
She turns, opens the door. Yes.
It wasn't a request, ma'am.
I understand that, but I'm not going to go see Grushenka in my bathrobe. That's not going to happen.
The cat looks subdued and kind of looks down at his paws. Just says, I'll be here for a few twitches. I don't...
Oh, you look so pathetic. Why am I weak like this? Come in, sit down. Do not move further than the foyer. I do not trust you.
And the cat, his tail just whipping back and forth really quickly, comes in and just stands in your foyer.
Yes, all right. I'm leaving before I start offering you refreshments and everything like that. You can breathe. There's nobody listening behind a curtain somewhere in this foyer. Will you excuse me, please? And she's going to make her way back upstairs to get ready. Get her cloak, her special gloves, her this or that. And she doesn't have time to get absolutely glamorous. But she does, take her sweet time to get ready, and then comes back down the stairs. All right, then. I had to switch from a box of tea to a bottle of wine. did not have time to go find something exquisite enough for House Siberian because last minute stuff never gives me the time to be as socially graceful as I like. What was your name, darling?
Rolf.
Rolf. All right, Rolf, darling. Now let's go see Grushanka, shall we? And she's going to offer her arm to the cat, like in a friendly gesture, as she walks towards the door.
He seems to be like eyeing your arm for your other arm for like a hidden blade, but takes it.
Yeah. Darling, don't worry. If I wanted to stab you, I wouldn't hide it there. And she's going to continue out the front door.
So, Jean-Pierre, following that gunpowder,
Oui.
you find yourself, you go up the stairs and then down the stairs. And you find yourself at a stone door that is locked. And this is a larger door than the others you'd seen.
Okay. Does it look like something I would be able to pick?
I mean, you might be able to. You're very good at picking locks. It's not like barred.
Yeah, I'll give it a
There's
shot.
a big, heavy lock on there.
Oh, it's like a padlock? Oh, absolutely picking that. That would be a sneak? A steal?
What?
What check
Oh,
check
steel
would that
check.
be?
Sorry. I thought you said sank, and I was like, you rolled a 5?
No.
It's a steel check, please.
Okay. That is a natural 20.
Holy shit.
I really wanted you to crit fail. I really wanted it.
It sat
I
on
wouldn't
that
lie to
2.
you.
It sat on that 2 for way too long.
He's like, I got this. I'm like, the dice said, okay.
So, yeah, you easily and silently open this door. And you see a room full of guns and some bombs, as well as halberds, spears, some potions, some strange things in vials, a lot of bows and arrows. And there is also a cat wearing a white coat and goggles in here, fiddling around with the potions. He has his back to you at this point.
I'll sneak up quietly behind them.
Okay.
Pull out my dagger. And then at the same dagger in the right paw. Move to ¿Qué te pasa, JP? At the same time, put the knife to this. It's a cat. Yeah,
It's a
the
cat.
cat's neck, and grab their left paw at the same time. And just hold on to the left paw and have the knife to their neck, and then pull them away from the table by pressing the blade of the knife to their neck just gently enough to have them move towards me.
First, give me a sneak check.
Okay.
'Cause that's a lot of things.
That is an 18.
Oh, but the kitty got a 19.
There we go.
So you sneak up, knife in hand, paw,
Mhm.
when Kitty turns around and goes, "Oh! Are you? You're not.
I still grab them and put the knife to their neck and
Okay.
do the entire thing.
Okay."
Yeah.
You hear muffled, panicky noises from underneath your paw.
So, what are these vials here? So I don't have my paw over their mouth. I have
okay.
my
It's around
paw.
his neck.
I'm grabbing their left paw,
Uh-huh.
and the knife is at their
Got
throat.
it.
Yeah.
He goes, they're, well, it might be hard to explain if you're not
Answer
familiar
quickly.
with explosives.
Answer quickly. I am familiar.
Acid
Oui. Continue.
makes kaboom,
Yes, I understand this. Okay. They are bombs.
and burning eats through stone and steel, causes rust and stuff.
The more you continue to insult my intelligence, the tighter this knife will go to your throat. Oui?
Well, I'm not used to dealing with laymen. I'm sorry.
Whoever said I was a layman.
Okay.
Your lethargy is making me tense. Tell me what I want to know.
The green vials are full of acid that dissolves stone and steel. The orange vials you add to your weapons to make them explosive. And the purple vials I haven't figured out yet, but they're weird.
What do you mean you haven't figured them out yet? What do they do?
Well, they're supposed to turn you into not awakened. But sometimes they do, and sometimes they turn you into a plant, and sometimes they turn you into a mouse, and sometimes they turn you into a really good steak dinner. That was terrible. So
Okay, very good. You will stay. Actually, I'm gonna knock the cat out.
okay.
Just kind of the knife, the arm that is holding the knife, push it back, and then just pull their neck into the crook of my arm and just rob them of any blood to their brain.
Okay. Yeah, I won't make you roll for that. You can do that.
And then I will take one of those purple vials and pour it on them. And I want to watch.
No.
I like how we're all sitting here like explosive weapons. That sounds bad. Then you get to the next one like, oh shit.
Roll me a D100.
81.
81?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see. What fun thing did I come up with for that? I'm going to say he starts to fade in and out, like you can't see him very well. And then his whiskers grow very long. His ears get really big. And he looks almost like a cat-mouse hybrid before disappearing completely.
Fascinating. So just to go over the green vials were acid, the orange vials were explosive weapons, and then the purple were
Weird.
basically immobilize an opponent. Okay.
Or
So,
something else.
Or something else. Does it look like there's like safe carrying containers for these things?
I mean, they're all in like beakers.
Okay.
There's like test tube carriers in here.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
But they're in beakers. Okay, so Jean-Pierre is going to pull his satchel forward, rip off a part of his shirt. It's kind of like a nice little crop top that looks like really ramshackly made. But take 4 green beakers, 6 orange beakers, and 3 purple.
Okay.
And put them safely in there, wrapping them up in the fabric, so that just in case when they jostle around, they're not just cracking and breaking into each other.
Yeah.
And then just going to take the rest of them and throw them onto the ground in the corner.
You might want to get out of that room real quick.
Oh!
Yep. At the same time, actually, hold on. Yeah, the green one will throw them all in the corner. The purple, throw them in the other corner. Then the rest of the orange will kind of take them all in a little bag. And as walking out of the room, tossing, turning on the cloak, and flying out.
Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, why am I worried?
Dude, you keep saying that.
It's a 24. I rolled a 14. Like,
Okay. So
Damn, you have a. Okay, that makes sense.
as
Damn.
one wall starts to melt behind you and an explosion rocks the other wall, you fly out of there and up the stairs and then down the other stairs. And rubble starts to fill in that stairway.
the one that I'm going through?
No, the one that you left.
Okay, very good.
Erasmus and Marius, you hear a big kaboom.
Cool. Just to hear
We're
the
not having
kaboom.
dinner now. Anyway.
Yeah, hear the kaboom. Don't see anything from the outside yet, right?
Nope, you just hear a kaboom.
Okay, my eyebrows raise further.
I'll say, Eartha, that's about when you arrive. Because you like to arrive with a bang.
Can we take a moment to appreciate that every time Eartha has had something like official, a party or a tea, somehow JP has set things on fire. Can we just take a moment to appreciate that? Yeah. So she's just gonna, as the carriage like pulls up, and is there smoke coming off the building?
No.
Okay.
This
There's
is,
just
like,
a loud
deep
kaboom.
Downstairs.
Right.
If she
So there's
hears
a
like kaboom,
and some like, you hear like, you know, the sound of kind of like a building shifting.
mm-hmm.
That like, kind of, I can't do it.
Yeah.
But the stone moving on stone.
Yep, she's just gonna look over to Rolf, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she's just gonna be like, usually the thunder comes from above. That was from below. Rolf, darling, this is a regular tea, right? Not a setup.
Rolf looks very concerned. He says, we should probably get inside. This isn't good, ma'am.
All right. And she'll let Rolf go first. She'll just come out just in all of her, like nothing is wrong. As she approaches the front door, her bottle of wine, she's got her special cloak on, and
Give me a notice check.
That was it. Do we also see her getting out and getting?
Yeah, y'all
to the
can
front?
give
I was about to
notice
ask.
check, too.
Yeah. Okay.
so that dice run all the way across the room. So I'm going to use a different one. It didn't want any parts of this.
Did not want explosions.
Notice is wisdom, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
30-20 for me.
Okay.
So that's the
Because it's the one thing I'm very good at. That and insight. Well, sense motive.
Got a 19.
22.
Okay. I would also like Jean-Pierre to give me a notice check, although you are still inside.
Wait. Oh, hello. That's a 22.
You are all so dang perceptive. So, Jean-Pierre, as you are floating, you smell something alchemical and feel a bit of a breeze underneath your feet.
Underneath my feet?
You're floating in the air, right?
Yeah,
You feel a
but
breeze,
a breeze under my feet?
under your feet
Okay.
Is this like an updraft going up or like a...
going sideways.
Interesting.
Okay, I'm getting out of there. I don't
Okay.
want to be in there.
The other three of you see each other.
Really quickly, just so I'm understanding, because I was missing something while I was typing. We're not in Siberian. We're in a Siberian outpost that's in Mao.
Yeah,
You
we're
were
still
right-
in Mao.
You are in Mao. You are like you are in the wealthy part of town.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
This is just like the Siberian enclave, right?
It's like the ambassador's building.
Gotcha.
And right as you see each other, the three of you, the cellar doors burst open. And you see an enormous rat wearing a lab coat flashing in and out of visibility.
You made a displacer rat? What did you do?
Running,
love
and
it.
you just hear like, ah, 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 as it runs past you.
I like the image of we just see Eartha, we're like, hi, Eartha, and just, what in the goddamn?
No, Marius is just, I'm used to this coming from Angora. This is different.
I'm just going to watch that. And you said that we saw Eartha get out and like go up to the front, right?
Yep.
Okay, well, I'm just going to watch that. Turn, look at where we just saw Eartha. And has she seen us too?
Yeah, you all saw each other.
Okay, there's like a beat where I see that, look at Eartha, look back at Marius, and just go, well, I think that's our cue, Marius. Miss Kitty, what a pleasure to see you tonight. How unexpected.
Eartha has this look on her face like, I could go back home right now. She's just... Did you all saw that, right?
Oh, yes. Your host, I hope not, coming barging out of the cellar.
Yeah, that wasn't Grishank. I mean, I wouldn't say she's ugly, but that's not quite. I don't have the mental faculties to process what exactly I just witnessed. I can say, if this is how Siberian work, they've changed over the years. It's too gaudy, too flashy, too interesting.
Not quite their style, yes. Marius and I were just taking a stroll, and we happened to see your young friend, the rather inflammatory one, meander by, and then all of this.
You don't have to be more specific. Most of my friends are exciting.
Isn't that the one that tried to kill my cousin?
Yes. Perhaps not inflammatory, but making sure other things are very combustible.
That's an interesting description.
He also realized what he just said and goes,
You know, Eartha has a moment where she goes,
my shoes. I'm just going to look down. Look at the... He doesn't.
My cousin, I mean that cat.
Yeah, my cousin Steve.
I try not to keep track of things like that. Well, you might as well come with me. I was invited to drinks with Grushanka, and it would be such a delight to see her face when I bring a +2 when it wasn't actually in the invitation. All right.
Wait, we're going to wait, I thought we were, hold on. He looks at Erasmus. We're going drinking? I thought we were just walking around. I mean, we can. I would love a drink, but
this was just a pleasant walk. But first, we happened upon Mr. Jean-Pierre, and then Miss Kitty herself has invited us for a drink with the detestable Grushanka. So why not?
Jean-Pierre, by this point, you can be exiting the cellar.
Oh yeah, just kind of just flying out and just going off into the sky.
Do I see him flying off since I saw him come in?
If you were still like keeping an eye on the cellar, you absolutely would see him.
After what just came out of the cellar, yes.
Eartha tries to cover for people, and she's just like, wow, look at the first a rat and then a cat-shaped bird. All right, let's
JP flying off to the night. Call!
Technically, I don't know how Pugmire does rules. Technically, I have a passive perception of 22, so I should be seeing it.
Shit, you absolutely
No.
see him. You see his
Because when you get
face.
advantage, you get +5 regardless. You're
you're
just
just
like,
like-
yeah.
Good lord.
Just, oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean, do you want me to roll for it or just?
No, I would say if you had an eye on the door, you would absolutely see him.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna give Jean-Pierre one of these as he flies off. Just a little. That's it.
Was there any? Okay, sorry. So we are going to. I don't think they're going. Are we going with you? Drinks. I heard drinks. I like drinks.
I know. And
Did you see anybody that was in there? Did you hear that kaboom?
Might have been the plumbing.
Yeah, totally plumbing. It was, probably, a person went inside the plumbing and got it clogged, and then maybe not. I don't know. I thought I heard that story about Lario and Marigi, so I don't know.
Allah.
oh my goodness.
Ah!
Well then, Rolf, show us in. And she's still going to be glancing up towards the sky because she would have told JP that she wrote a letter to House Siberian. But I don't know if she had seen JP in between when she received the response of her being invited or not. But yeah, she's a full out the House of the Ambassador thingy. Place that she avoids with
Open the
everything
door.
within her. She's right at the door.
You also know that Marius is, for once, he's not like in the worst state right now. He's pretty chill, but he is walking ever so slowly towards the ambassador's house because he doesn't want to be there either.
Yeah, because this is a place Eartha has stayed quite a bit because she stayed with the various ambassadors. So that's why she's just like, when you get to the front door and you've got to go in, but your feet just won't move, and you have to take that deep breath and just be like, all righty then, Rolf. Send the announcement to Krishanka so we don't get knives in our head for people being surprised.
Rolf gives the guard a look to open the door, and you see that his paws are trembling. And the stands at the door. It's Miss Kitty, formerly of the House Siberian, and guests.
Formerly of the House Siberian. It's like it hurts people to say that name.
And
Yeah, you told. Sorry, real quick. It's
No,
just
go
a
ahead.
moment. So formally, you're not there now. What happened? You just want to be your own cat. I get that. I'm just wondering.
Let's long story, darling. Very long story. I was bored.
You were bored and you left a house.
Yes, of course. I'm Eartha Kitty.
Okay, and I'm Marius, but I can't just leave a house.
It's a little easier than you think, technically. Anyways, yes, formerly of the house. It's a long story. I left the monarchies, now I'm back. I don't think you're ever technically formally of the house. Unless you moved to another house. I just said F all the houses and decided to head to Pugmire.
Yeah, you got to teach me how to do that because I'm still learning that part.
Yeah, it would be my pleasure unless, there's a war and then it doesn't really matter where you are. All right.
Yeah.
The key is to make sure you ask for the most expensive alcohol, because if they give you anything less than the most expensive, it's an insult. And then drink it frivolously. Pour it into the larger glass, not the tiny glass that they give you. it will get on her nerves so badly. Not that I'm that familiar with Grushanka, I just know.
You know, I don't recall ever hearing of an Eartha kitty in House Siberian. Not your original name, then?
Oh, that's rude. Rolf, Grushanka, drinks.
So Rolf runs forward, and as you go, you see him straightening paintings on the wall. And you notice that, you know how, like, when an earthquake isn't big enough to knock your art off the wall, but it is enough to tilt it? All of the art on the walls is just a little bit shifted. Some of the knickknacks, a few are broken, but most of them are just like falling over. There's some books that are on the ground, and you see Rolf like clearly trying to lead you, but as he's going, he's like straightening as he goes. And he leads you into a sitting room where there is a chair tipped over on the floor, and Grushanka is standing over a cat, instructing them in how to pick up the chair appropriately. She turns to you, and she is very, very fluffy cat. You've seen her before at the party, but now she's in her at-home clothes. She's wearing a white furred robe. And it's like furred here and then silk sateen, and holding a glass of wine. Tedia and Erasmus and friend.
Hi, Marius.
I just very politely bow my head and say, "Lady, it has been too long."
My apologies. There was some kind of disturbance downstairs, but I really wanted to speak with you alone, Tedia. What are you doing? I mean, welcome. I'm so glad to have you on tonight of all nights.
What is the name that she said?
Yeah.
Tedia.
Tedia. Do I recognize that name at all by any chance?
I'm not sure if you would, but you can give me a no culture check if you would like.
Honey, look at
Yes.
chat. Sorry.
A no culture check, you said?
Yeah.
Sure. That's intelligence, right?
Yeah.
It's not great. Oh, okay, that's not bad. Do I have no culture? No, I don't. Okay, well, that's a 16.
You would know that this is a common Siberian name, but not one that you've heard. Like,
Okay.
not one that, I mean, it would be if someone was like, John. So you'd be like, yep, that's a name I know.
What up? Okay, yeah, sure. Good. Just want to make sure.
You see Marius, getting high, and eyeing the wine glass, and then like you can almost see like gears ticking in his head as he like.
You'd see Eartha just. Lady Grushanka, I just saw them out. They are associates of mine, good friends, and there was a rumble, and I don't like to be out in the street when mysterious things are happening, so I thought it'd be safer for them to come in.
Yes, we thought it was a thunderstorm, but then it came from below. Was there an earthquake?
Not that I'm aware of, but weather and all of that never really interested me very much. I was promised drinks.
Oh, yes, I'm drinking some wine, but we also have some vodka. Would you like some catnip-infused vodka?
No on the catnip, but vodka, it's been a while.
Would you like a catnip martini? I can see that you do.
Yeah.
Whatever he wishes, get him spoiled the best of House Siberian. I boast about the hospitality, the unique brand of hospitality that comes from your house. So
Our house, yes.
our house. Thank you for the invitation, and I'm glad we have very much to discuss. I didn't expect such a package to come, and it was quite frightening.
Jean-Pierre, where have you flown off to? Have you gone home?
I'm
are you
immediately. I'm going to Harrow immediately.
Okay.
Everything that I picked up is much too important to just keep on my person and to wait for spying. This is more than yeah. So immediately going to Harrow, dropping them off, and then I'll fly my way back.
Okay. Harold looks agitated when you see him. But pretty much says, good job, good job. Well done.
If I see he's agitated, I'm not giving him anything. What is going on?
Says I haven't heard from Emil, but I'm sure it's fine.
Fuck. Okay. Well, I have some things that will lift your spirits, and I tell him everything that I found and give them to him.
He is stoked and like gives you a hug, which is kind of weird for Harrow.
Little rat man, go giving hugs.
Do you tell him about the rat displacer beast you made?
Oui. It's very interesting. I wanted to see how it would work and if this cat was bluffing or not.
He looks very intrigued by the purple stuff. He's like, I will make something of you.
Be careful. I don't need you becoming a rat. I will go. I have a little bit of spying to do, but stay safe. If you hear anything about that meal, send me a message. We have enough people in this city now that we can take care of things.
Good work. Be safe.
Same to you. And we'll fly off and go back to the scene of the crime.
Are you breaking back into the house?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go through the roof this time.
Okay.
Oh.
There are the two guards there.
They're playing cards. I'm just gonna float, not even touch down, open the door, and go in.
Give me a stealth check.
I'm gonna
At
keep,
advantage because they are playing cards.
I'm gonna keep edging fate and be like, why don't I need to do this? This is fine. Nope. 26.
Okay, you get in.
Glad I had that advantage. I needed it. Oh. Yeah, in and then we'll just go see what's going on because it's clear something is.
Okay. So back to the room with the other three of you. So Grushenka snaps at the cat in front of her who had been picking up the chair. It says, catnip martinis. Oh, and for you, Erasmus, you do not want catnip, do you? You want something else?
It is not my preferred flavor. I will take water. Thank you.
Oh, come on, Razzie. You can have a little bit of the vodka.
Marius, I know that you will not do so, so I will stay hydrated enough for the both of us.
You come into my
I should
house.
take offense by that.
No, you should take your drink.
Yeah.
She looks at Eartha and says, so you come into my house with uninvited guests, and one of them insults me by refusing to drink with me. Is this what has happened to us now? Tedja?
Keep saying that name.
You're
There's a
muted.
silence spell on you.
You're muted, honey.
We can't hear you.
Okay, she just says, There's a difference between an insult and cultural differences. I am sure he's got a different constitution than we do.
Very well. Wine for Miss Kitty. And the cat rushes back with wine for Eartha, catnip martini for Marius, and water for Erasmus.
Refreshing.
You see that she is still drinking wine from her crystal decanter. She says, "Now, Ursa, I was not pleased to receive your letter.
I was not pleased to receive a box of metal snakes that tried to kill me.
You know we would never send those to you, darling."
Of course not, it was far too sloppy.
She keeps eyeing Erasmus. She says, "Now, we do not do our work through the mail."
I'm very well aware I haven't received a single letter from anyone here, but somehow... but somehow, throughout my journeys, I am still, as it were, haunted or followed by various actions from this house. So I would say that is accurate, which is why I'm turning to you for help.
Would you call it haunted or would you call it inspired? They're two sides of the same coin. No?
Whatever you say. Inspiration comes in many different forms. Has this been happening often? People using the house to sow discord?
People use anything to sow discord right now. You've been gone a long time, Eartha.
Yes, indeed. I would not be back had I not been so concerned about the well-being of those that I call family, whether or not I openly acknowledge it. There's just some things that are thicker than spite.
So, we're so very glad to have you back, and it's such a shame about your party that there was terrorism act and criminals and a drunken buffoon taking the stage at the dance floor.
Hey, hold on. Don't put me into this. I was just enjoying. Were you talking about me?
Oh, that was you.
Oh,
you dance wonderfully.
Yeah. I thought I danced splendiferously.
He was able to keep up with me, so... My parties are always exciting, Krishanka. You know this, although that was probably the first one you ever attended.
Erasmus.
Hmm?
Since I'm fortunate enough to have you here, what are Mao's thoughts? What does Threnody truly think about the war? I'm having such a difficult time hearing anything from her people.
I couldn't hope to speak for the lady in any real capacity, but as far as I understand it, she is not entirely in favor. Would be bad for all of the monarchies as a whole.
Yes, that did seem to be what Julian had implied.
Julian does not imply, he outright states.
That's true. I've seen him around. Question. Just out of curiosity, because, we're all here. We're all friends, right? The great Flufftastic Grushenka von Siberian and and then Eartha and Razzie and me. Question. How does Siberian feel about this war? I don't know. There's a box with Siberian's name on it. That sounds sloppy, but something tells me, if you know that things like this has happened before, why hasn't there been a more active attempt to stop it?
As my
Out of
sister
curiosity.
Layla has tried to inform stubborn Threnody, bless her soul, may she reign over the monarchies forever. This war is timed perfectly. We should be putting everything we have into it. House Siberian, unfortunately, does not have many resources to contribute, but we fully politically support anyone and everyone throwing everything they have into this war. We think that Mao, in particular, should lead all of us to war. We have always, and she eyes Eartha, and stood for a strong family.
Those are very nice opinions that your house holds. It is a shame that they count for so little, what with the relative lack of strength your house possesses, but I will be sure to pass them on to Lady Threnody.
Also, when
Personally.
she was talking, Marius knows politician speech. How much was an act, and how much was she does they really care about the war?
Give me an insight or sense motive check on that.
Sense that shit.
You don't want to know what technically my passive for that also is.
Yeah.
Can't
What is
begin to
sense
imagine my
But it's
power.
high. It's high.
So I have sense motive as a skill. What does that mean?
Means you can add your proficiency to it.
Yeah.
So
That
that's a plus 5. So
is
that's
25.
20 plus. What is that?
Yeah, let's all just do it. Why not? I got an 8.
I think I have a 22.
Okay. So 25, 8, 22. And Jean-Pierre, if you were coming down the house quickly to over here, I would say you could probably be around-ish by this point. You could be on this floor.
Yeah.
I'm not making you roll for stealth anymore.
Yeah, he can't climb on walls, but because of his cloak, he can kind of make it like he is.
Yeah, I would say you can
So-
walk super quietly because of that cloak.
Jean-Pierre will basically find the room and sneak in and just go up onto the ceiling and just sit and listen.
Okay. We will see if anybody notices you before that. Or at that point.
This is like a horror movie. He's just on the roof.
It's like- So, Erasmus, those definitely seem like very nice opinions that you are not going to give a shit about. Eartha and Marius, you get the idea that she is very interested in this war. You also know that House Siberian has never really been keen on the unity of the monarchies. So her talking about doing this for family strength and everyone sticking together is definitely not. I mean, family strength is different than the strength of all cats. The may she live forever was definitely like a kind of whatever.
Yeah.
And given with how high you rolled and Eartha being from here, you would know that Siberian is extraordinarily wealthy.
Yeah.
Like,
I
so-
I think I knew that without a roll.
Yeah, so for her to say, like, we have no resources to commit to this is just patently untrue.
Yeah.
You just see Eartha. She's got her glass of wine, and if people are paying attention, she may bring it up to her lips, but she does not actually sip it. And she just listens, and then she says, I remember having class after class after class, learning how to speak, fluent BS. But we'll push that to the side. Rashanka, I am back. That means
I know,
it would be
Tedya. It's so wonderful to have you.
You keep calling her that. I just need you to know that.
Well, it's her middle name, darling. It's what we called her as children. She was the little teddy bear kitty. She was so fluffy like a little teddy bear.
Am I on the ceiling?
Yes. Everybody
Okay.
give me a notice check. Opposed to Jean-Pierre's stealth check.
I will
Sneak
say
check.
when Grushanka says that, Erasmus' eyes just slowly slide to Eartha, and he just goes like,
and Eartha just is.
That's natural 20.
Okay.
That was the 5 and a natural 20 for a 27.
that's spicy.
25.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
He is
Wait.
fucking high. Jesus.
Grushenka got a 5, so she doesn't
she
see
doesn't.
you.
I don't think I see that. That's a 24, but that doesn't do it.
Oh,
Off by
no.
one.
I don't see anything.
Yeah.
So only Marius sees Jean-Pierre.
I think he.
Go ahead.
I'll get to it really quickly. I think as he's talking and he keeps talking about the name, he keeps looking at Eartha because he's having a memory, but he can't place it. But he does just see in his peripheral there's something in the corner. And he's like, huh.
Yeah, it's just Jean-Pierre with the big crossbow out, and he's braced the front part with his leggies,
Mhm.
and is pulling it back with his arms, just loading a bolt and aiming it at Grushenka.
That chandelier looks a lot like JP.
Well, Eartha
What?
is just going to say, Grushenka, Yes, I was an adorable kitten. Yes, I am a gorgeous cat. And our house benefited quite a bit from the attention I received from others because of that. But what I am here to discuss is safety, security of our house.
That's funny, actually.
That's exactly why I wanted you here, because, you see, we all care about safety. Sometimes, when others are busy, we can make our own safety.
Would that have something to do with, because I'm back in town, so I'm always looking to start back with business. I noticed some very interesting imports.
What kind of
you know.
imports?
Supplies. Things that usually aren't in our purview, but then again, our house always stays well prepared. I'm just wondering, do we have any open deals with other houses right now? Something that I could get in on. Perhaps broker a better deal.
Well, of course, we maintain good ties with everyone. Although it's a little cold for Rex to come up. But, Angora and Simric and Korat have been very interested in going forward with this war, and we support them wholeheartedly.
But have they been 100% forthright with what they're importing?
Eartha, does Siberian have a secret code language that they use? Some of the other houses do.
Russian?
I'm just asking you, like,
Russian.
do they speak Russian? Like, so that you could have like thieves can or something, so that you could have an encrypted conversation with someone in front of other houses. Is that something that you would know or have with them?
I'm checking. Because
I'm just asking you.
Like,
you can decide.
I think based on what Eartha has been trained to do, there are certain hand signals and stuff like that that would make her able to throw up things like telepathic bond, all that kind of stuff. I have a feeling they do things a lot more subtly than just talking.
Okay. So she continues to go, like, verbally talking about how important it is to maintain positive relations with your neighbors, but how Siberia is too chilly for a lot of places. And meanwhile, she's making a lot of hand gestures. And she hasn't been very hand talky before. And you see that you figure out that she's saying that.
Yep, she just, you see Eartha take a moment and glance down at her drink, look back up, and she hums a few notes of, how does that song go again? Da, 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 da. And she'll throw up telepathic bond with Grishanka. But
I have a quick question. And Jess, you feel free to let me know if I wouldn't. Because of Marius's potential position and what he had to learn from the past, would he, because of his mother, be privy to things like the secret things that he would, I guess, have to know? Not saying that he would learn it on purpose, but like, you will need to know these things because people will turn on you in 2.5 seconds.
I'll let you roll for it. Give me a no culture roll.
Okay. That is valid.
And honey, check the
One of the
chat.
things I'm actually skilled at. My computer is being mean right now. There we go. Okay. What dice to use? I always get scared to roll the wrong dice. Let's use the black one because Black Lives Matter. You fucked me over. Not really. That's a 17.
Yeah, you definitely can tell that there's some, like, hand signals going on. You can't entirely read them.
Yeah.
But you know that there's some, like, secrecy shit that would be enough for you to be like, this is not on the up and up.
Yeah. He says nothing. I think he notices, and even can put the music like 2 and 2 together. Doesn't know what's going to happen, but he just, okay. And he just kind of just takes that martini still and just.
you just see Eartha rolls her eyes to herself and nods and smiles. Very fake. She's just, I want in at the market houses to broker some deals of my own on behalf of the house. There seems to have been a discrepancy, a couple that I've seen.
What kind of discrepancies?
There's a high level of export. I mean, there's no actual war that's taken place quite yet. There's just a high level of export of foodstuffs going out, but it didn't quite match up with how much is actually being sold or available in the market to, the common cats. So I was just wondering, perhaps somebody with a keener eye would be able to fix some of those discrepancies.
Well, I'm sure that they're all preparing. There's troops mustering on the front, even though war hasn't been declared. One does want to be ready. There's, I know Korat has troops down, Reddit said, well, you didn't hear from me, but they're not our troops, so I can say down around Waterdog Port, around Houndton. just in little pockets, and I'm sure they're probably planning something bloody and violent. It's Korat. I'm sure whatever it is, it won't be very well thought out.
So JP will recognize Eartha in information gathering mode. That she's just really having this conversation so that this information can be out there as she goes. Waterdog Port.
That's where you were. That was basically
Yeah.
Miami.
Yeah, she's like, a charming town. Well, Grushanka, who do you think is using the house name then to send packages to people that... The interesting thing was, the package wasn't for me. It was, out of all people, for someone from Rex. Do you know if anybody is particularly testy with Rex currently?
Well, darling, everybody is testy with Rex. They keep opposing the war, and they have the shadow block with them. And if we can't get the commoners to go with this, then who do we have to fight?
No, nothing. Jean-Pierre didn't do anything yet. Nope.
Yeah, she says, I see. But that's where the discrepancies in the marketplace thing really come into effect. If the commoners can't eat and the commoners are unhappy, how on earth are they supposed to join any army?
Well, they go where they're told. You've been in Pugmire for far too long. You know when your liege lord calls you, you answer.
And you and I have been in this house for the majority of our lives, and we know that that is complete and utter. She cuts herself off.
So unfortunate.
I have a question.
That Siberian.
Yes.
Well, go ahead. No, you can finish it.
So unfortunate Siberian is unable to commit any troops to the cause.
Marius had okay, I'll wait.
Yeah.
And then like when he's
Yes, drunken cat?
His name is not Drunken Cat, Grushanka. The least thing we can do when we show our hospitality is use people's names.
Marius.
oh, thank you. You take that much better than other people. Never mind. You know, question. Sidebar. It's really weird how active he's being when he can't even be this with his own fucking family. So back to it. Question. Just getting back to the the box. It was for the Rexy boy, Tyrannosaurus Rex, him. However, it was sent to Eartha's house. Why would that be a thing? Why didn't they send it to Sandy's place?
Well, obviously, I assume he was being watched.
But to send an entire package meant it had to go through many systems in order to get to the correct place at the correct time.
Not when you have hand delivery. I mean, if someone is watching Sandy and someone is watching Eartha, it's not very hard to communicate.
I'm just saying. Some sounds very tilapia to me. Not the good kind either. Sipping of a drink.
I just ask for...
And wasn't Sandy at your house the night before?
There were lots of people at my house the night before.
I was at your house the night before. It was a
I
lovely
know.
party until the terrorism, darling.
It's not terrorism if no one's actually terrified. Well, I guess the person who almost died was terrified, but everything else is just standard monarchy operating procedures.
The little dog looked quite out of sort.
We're getting off point. Grushanka, I don't want people watching what I do, where I go, how I do it, and who is at my place. So,
My darling, you're a celebrity.
correct, but I don't want them doing it to find out where other people are, and especially not if they're misusing the house's colors. My two requests is I want to go to the marketplace and correct a few things. see what profit we can continue channeling to ourselves. And 2, I want revenge on the person who sent the package to my house.
Do you have any idea who would send it besides everyone hating Rex at this moment?
I cannot possibly get revenge on everyone, even though most of the houses have done something to make me sick. But what I can do is perhaps use some of our resources to try to... Then she pauses. I don't want to deal with any more ministers. I was going to try Isabella, but she basically told him to F off. Which, and she had a lot of cheek for doing that, considering everything that her house is importing. You do know what they're bringing in, though.
I assume something big and undead.
Big and undead would be far more, I don't know, preferred, but most of what they're importing are little things, bones, magical relics, stuff that in small quantities are okay, but in larger things can feel, cultish behavior.
She's setting up a museum.
Who knows? You should have tea with her. I'm sure she'd spill her guts.
Isabella is Simric or Angora?
Angora.
Angora, thank you. Yeah.
Anyways, we're deviating. Did you call me here because you wanted to hear what my requests are? Did you call me here because you actually had something for me? Or did you just want to see my beautiful face?
Darling, I did miss your face, and I wish that you had come alone, but I wanted to remind you that you are a Siberian, and you are a Siberian with a voice. And as an independent-minded cat, you of all people can promote free thought.
And that's when Jean-Pierre shoots her.
I would say you all see Jean-Pierre now.
First one is 25 to hit.
I was going to say I actually catch it because I'm the only one who knows where he's at.
Oh,
I can deflect missiles.
Do it.
I would go, oh, wait. I mean, I don't know. He probably has more than that, but he would.
Yeah,
he would
24 to hit for the second one.
That hits. Well, I think so. Deflecting missiles for someone. So I'm gonna let you rule this because it's weird. I can deflect missiles, but it's the wording says hits the Wanderer, but what if it hits somebody else?
I mean,
It's the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much supposed to be that, like, if you take the defense action, you can do it for somebody else beforehand. But I would say in this situation, like, if you were close enough. Because it's not like you can dodge across a room.
Yeah. No.
But if you were, like, right next to her, you could be like, no.
I mean, I think I figured we were all close. We weren't, like, across the room from each other, other than the one in the corner.
Yeah.
Even the well, I'm not going to say I accidentally catch it. I would just reduce the damage, regardless.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, more like probably like stigmata like passes through like fuck.
So I would say that first one, if you're deflecting it, it reduces the damage to her, and the second one probably hits you.
Well, does do the things go back to back? Because I feel like he probably catch the first one, the other one would go through, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's basically action bonus action.
Okay.
And
it's not like
that has to be the same target.
Yeah.
yeah.
Makes
Okay.
sense. I was gonna say because he was like sipping and knowing that this person has tried to kill someone in the past, he noticed. Okay, that's happening. No, please.
So if Marius uses his reaction to deflect one of those missiles, would your bonus action with him now in the way be to shoot Marius?
No, it would be to shoot her. Still.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then I would say your second attack with her is a disadvantage because Marius is in the way.
So it's just flat and it's still 24.
Okay.
Wolf.
Tragic.
Woof.
So the first one does 25 damage.
So I would reduce that to. Hold on. I definitely don't catch it. I
You
definitely
put up
don't
your paw
catch
to
it.
catch it, and it just punches through your paw. Like
I feel like it kind of did. I feel like it kind of did. Or more so, it skirt by.
Watch this sick shit.
It goes down by what's my dex modifier?
Let me get out your
Numbers.
stats. Okay.
It goes down by 12 points.
Okay, so 12 points of damage.
No, you said it did 25?
Yeah, so it's 13 points
13
of damage
points
for the
of
first
damage,
one. What's that math on that? Calculator.
Calculator.
28 damage for the second one.
Yeah.
Spicy.
She collapses in her chair. And
Boy.
now you all see Jean-Pierre in the corner.
Jean-Pierre floats down a little bit.
Oh, hi, buddy.
Bonsoir, my friends. But Erasmus, you know, this had to happen eventually. And Jean-Pierre changes his voice to a Russian accent. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it right now, but just like, Mao has assassinated Groshenka, and Jean-Pierre will just fly out the door.
Chasing
Oh,
him.
no.
Fuck that. I am
The second he
chasing him.
starts yelling, he's getting his ass grabbed. then.
Sorry, no, I was not going to do anything until he said Mao.
Yeah, like the second that you open your mouth with that, it's like, okay, no.
He said the exact wrong thing.
The funny thing is he was going to just be like, oh, well, say la vie. See you, buddy.
No, and that's kind of where Marius was. Marius like, I can't, just don't, why? We're not in front of that, but that one
Right in front of my salad.
right in front of my salad.
I don't know what's to grab
You're
someone before they
muted,
fucking
Jess.
book
You're
it.
muted, Jess.
Jess.
God damn it. How do we feel about doing PvP conflict right now?
I'm down for it, I guess.
I'm good.
Okay, guys, roll
It was
initiative.
only
Honey,
because
Oh,
he
boy.
said
honey, how are you
Mao.
doing?
Only because he
Uh,
said
There's nothing I can do, but I've got a 19 for my initiative.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm just
Lord.
gonna keep track
Jesus
of initiative,
Christ.
and
Oh,
y'all
this
are
is
gonna
not
tell me
good.
what you do.
Oh, this is not
Here
good.
we go.
And I will say I'm gonna keep track of the rounds to tell you when the guards show up.
Oh,
Valid.
God.
23 for initiative.
Okay. I have
17. Oh, wait, sorry. You don't.
I get advantage on initiative. Yay. That's a natural 20.
Hey.
Nice.
No.
No,
I mean,
no,
I'm,
no,
st-
no.
I'm still up in the air.
Well,
I'm
you said
on
you,
the
you said
ceiling.
you flew down to us.
Oh, that's true. I did fly
You
down.
did. And because
Fuck
you got
me.
a nat 20, I will let Erasmus go first. This one
Grandstanding
round.
son of a bitch.
Wait, a natural 20, what's his dexterity modifier?
Oh, that's a fair point, because I don't know if getting a nat 20 on initiative actually adds
Oh
anything.
yeah, that's true.
You do. It's a 20 plus your dex.
Oh, okay, so that's oh yeah, because I don't think I get my proficiency bonus or anything, do I?
Mm-mm.
You don't not to that.
Then in that case, that is only a 22.
I go first.
So close. Okay.
I mean, but if he got a nat 20, he's still gonna go no.
This is the one case where a nat 20 does not save me.
I was gonna let you go.
No, it's all right.
All right, Jean-Pierre, you are up first. Are you flying away?
I'm fucking out of here. Are you kidding me? I'm not spending time on this. I'm spending every action I have to fly the fuck away and go back up to the roof.
You're not going out the front door?
No. Why'd I go out the front door?
Because
Yeah.
it's closer?
I'm not doing that. I'm a smart cat. So that's with bonus action with that's 180 feet. I'm out of here.
How much can you fly with the damn cape?
60 feet.
90 feet?
60
60
feet.
feet.
And
How
I'm
is it
using
180?
my bonus action.
120.
Oh, action move,
Mhm.
bonus action. Got
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
Wild. Farewell.
So,
Okay.
Erasmus, what are you going to do?
Well, I guess combat's over because if he's already out and gone, like, chilling here with a body, I guess. I mean, I'm just going to like start as he starts to fly off, watch him go, and be like, well, fair enough. I'm just going to turn and look at Eartha Kitty and be like, so would you prefer that we wait here with the body, or?
Eartha just shakes her head. Leave. Just go ahead and leave. They're just gonna throw up a zone of truth and get the truth out anyways. Take a bottle with you.
Well, in that case, I shall stay.
Marius is running. Marius, no, I mean, he's not going to catch him. However, you have never seen Marius more attentive. And he is on all fours. And he is running. I can climb. I'm running.
There's like the words come out of Erasmus's mouth, and he sees Maria bolt off, and I just kind of look at him go, look back at you with her, and just go. I'm going to grab a bottle of wine, and as I chase after Marius, I just smash it on the wall, and I run after him with a broken bottle.
Marius, how fast can you run?
I mean, I won't be able to run as fast as him, but however, I probably could use the bonus action as well. That would be 105.
105?
On all fours, I do 35.
Yeah, I can't keep up with.
I wish he was faster. He should be faster, but it's whatever.
Like I can track them, but I definitely can't keep up with them speed wise.
Yeah. And Eartha, you're staying.
God damn it.
Yep, she's just gonna settle down, whatever other chair is in the room, with her glass of wine, stare at the body, and go.
I mean, you can try and stabilize her if you want. Like, no one has tried to do a medicine
It's my
check.
body and me.
She's gonna stare for a moment and move forward with her hands.
Oh yeah, I can.
Is she unconscious?
She's at 0 hit points, but like you can bring her back with a successful medicine check. You can bring her back to 1.
But she's not unconscious.
I mean, she's like how you're unconscious right before you die.
Okay. Well, that just depends. That was going to depend on a lot. She's just going to gently reach out with one of her gloved hands, and she's going to use her healer's glove to give her 1d6 of healing.
Okay.
Only because that's the only way she knows how to bring her back up outside of. But she's gently, like, has her hand there. But when she activates the gloves, it's a slap. Like, she's just.
Roll me a heal check before you add the extra to it.
A heal check? Oh, man. I don't do that. I mean, wait. She doesn't. She's. Ugh. That's a. What is heal?
Forget if it's intelligence or wisdom. Things that I should know as I run a game.
If it's just intelligence, it's 15. If it's wisdom, it's 17.
Okay, well, 15 was the number. So, yeah, that brings her to 1 hit point. And then when you slap her with your glove.
See, because she's just trying to wake her up. So if that's all the heal check is needed to do, she's not going to use her gloves. If she gets conscious, she's not giving her any additional hit points.
It
with
was
her
wisdom.
gloves.
So, yeah, you get her 1 hit point.
Yeah. And she's just going to look at Grisham because she says, I could choose to leave you as dead as the name that I left behind. I could be true to my house and make sure the last thing you see before you die is the thing you fear most. Or you could give me a secret, some information that you think is worth your life.
she's kind of like choking on some of the blood from the 2 crossbows in her chest.
Yeah, she takes out a handkerchief and dabs at the sides of her mouth and just pets the top of her head a little bit. See, Grushanka, darling, I learned a lot. I know that it seemed like I didn't, but you know how we say you have to always revere the past. So dig deep. Please, dig as deep as you can.
She says, while they're busy dying, we'll make a free Siberian.
So it's the same old rhetoric. Yes.
There's the food. We've released giants from the mountains.
Who controls the giants, Grushanka?
She kind of coughs and looks at you and says, who controls the wind?
Well, I've calmed an entire storm, brought out the sun, done a lot of very interesting things, Grushanka, darling. So our interests lie in the survival of Siberia. Is that the secret? The giants are coming.
I know why they want bones.
I know you must be in a lot of pain, and I know that's why you're dragging this out. You know I could rip the information from your brain with a simple song. You know I can, because you drilled it into me. So we might as well have a calm conversation. Then I'll go get a healer, and I'll make sure to tell the council that your injuries came from, what was that again? You know how we all have to prove that we, what's the word? Yes, we have to prove that we can defend the house from the unwelcome. Now, I'm not going to say that this was a personal failure of yours, but I can say 2 crossbow bolts to the chest was not necessarily a welcome event. So when I tell the council what transpired here, they'll deal with you. I won't have to worry about it. But give me enough to carry on your contributions.
They said, and she kind of coughs for a second, that spirits of the dead rise from the bones and feast on the mind of the angry. They'll destroy everyone on the battlefield. It will be glorious.
And she's just going to calmly say, It will be so beautiful. Can you see how each snowflake falls over hill and glen, frozen waterfalls? Look at what can be. Look how far we've come. Deep behind our houses walls. And she's going to use what was that? I need a, let me get my math here. Let me get you this. I think it's going to be a wisdom save. What did I want to do? Is it fear or phantasm?
That's a 17.
Okay, that's exactly.
So if it meets, it beats, yeah. What were you trying to do?
Give you something to leave on your mind. And then she's going to pull the dagger from her boot and use the blunt end to knock her out.
Okay. So checking in with the boys. Jean-Pierre, where are you flying to?
Jean-Pierre will fly up out of the roof and we'll wait.
Just above
out-
the roof?
Up in the sky, maybe 100 feet away. Just about where he thinks that both Marius and Erasmus can't get him.
Okay. Marius, are you running up the roof or are you going out the door?
I'm running up the roof. I'm going to get up as quickly as possible. Whether that's climbing, jumping to something, climbing back. He's on a mission.
I mean, you can run up
Yeah,
like to get out to the roof.
that works too. And I will say he doesn't see the cape or anything like that, but he is like, that's your plan? You take things out and then blame other people? That's your big plan?
No.
Where's he at? Oh, he's floating?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm up in the air.
He looks up. I consider myself to be a coward. Let's just get that out of the way. I am not the most, what's the word? Forward individual. However, if I do something, I do it myself. I don't blame somebody else to start a war that you seemingly don't want. So what is your angle, Jean-Pierre?
To force you into power, Trillion.
Trillion? That's what you called me?
It's my guess.
You know, I begged you to be smarter than that.
Well, it's clear that Erasmus, a worthy pawn of Mao, is out to protect someone, and the only one that Mao would be protecting right now is the heir. So even if your name is not Trillion, I can call you Marius. It is fine. But you said yourself as a coward, and you cannot face the people the same way that your mother can. So you can either see the plight that is befalling the people that your mother currently rules over, and concede to their demands. Or you can let Mao die and leave and join us. Or you can die. Maybe not by my hand, but you could be pulled apart by the masses as they storm your home once you have to take the power once your mother is dead.
But
Just
see,
like...
that's the thing about you that I'm learning, Mr. Cachet. You seem to think that you know what I and what Mao wants. Don't get it twisted. I don't like my mother. I don't have to hide that part anymore. It's been very clear when I haven't been home for how long? But there are things that are in motion that unfortunately causing a war that's going to kill more innocents that you believe is going to help with. If
This war
you know
is
what,
going to happen either way.
what would have happened if someone actually believed Mao killed Grushenka?
Oh, civil war, war between the houses, more destabilization for the government.
No. See, you're a cat. You're a common cat. I am literally the heir. I am royalty. I know the truth. They would have gotten as many innocents into this fight as possible, killing more people than what would have happened without this.
You think that either way, innocents will not die. That is the difference between royals and the peoples that are already on the ground. We know we're going to die. We know our neighbors are going to die.
But wouldn't you want the least amount of people dead?
No. I want change. I want the future to be in our hands. If that takes 100,000 bodies, makes no difference to me.
That's pretty totalitarian for you, don't you think?
No, I'm not ruling over anyone.
Oh, you're not ruling, but it's by your iron fist that things are happening.
Oh, well, someone so educated as a royal would know that totalitarian is a form of government. But no, I do not command any armies.
You say
I just
that.
kill those at the head and on the thrones. So.
The funny thing is, if you knew as much as you think you would know, that my father wanted what you seemingly want.
No, I killed him because I knew that is not the truth.
Say that again?
Oh, I killed your father, Marius.
You know, for someone with a big cloak that thinks they're invincible, they're pretty talkative up there. Would you say that to my face?
Oh, I am saying it to your face. I'm just saying it from all the way up here.
Oh no, come down here though.
No, I'm smarter than that.
No,
but
you're no, you die.
It's very cute of you, but someone that thinks he's a coward or says he's a coward. It's very interesting. Well,
Erasmus, by this point, you have crested the rooftop.
Neat. Sorry, continue. Don't let me interrupt.
Oh, Erasmus, it is good to see you.
Am I interrupting something?
Oh, no, he was just threatening me.
Oh, no, you're fine. Oh, not a threat. He killed my dad. Did you know that?
Oui.
I had my guesses.
You can fly away. You say you're smart, so fine. You're correct. I'm a coward when it comes to my mother, to my house. To you, you're nothing but a common cat, right?
Oui. Nothing. And if you are truly embracing your royal heritage, it is common for you to kill me. Because I am just a common cat. No. That is what royals do. Step on our necks.
I know. I wouldn't kill you because I'm a royal. I'm not that type of royal, unfortunately. I was born into a system that I'm trying to actually change. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened as quickly.
Trying to change. You have been sitting drunk in taverns, drinking your life away, not doing anything. Do not try to lie to yourself, to me, to Erasmus, that you have been trying to change things. You have been hiding from any kind of responsibility you have wanted. We have been looking for you forever. But you have run. And you know this. You are more of a coward to yourself and your own ideas than you are right now. And you know, this is all. Adieu. And
yeah, that's right. Run, Mr. Know-It-All. I need a fucking drink. I look over at Erasmus. Well, that was fun.
Quite the way to end the evening. Don't worry, Marius. I will find him later.
No, I'll find him.
We can find him together.
I do want to comment on something. He wasn't wrong. Yeah, I'm a coward. You know this. You've been carrying my drunken body since I was how long? 18? I'm a fucking mess. However, I don't want to kill him because I'm a royal. I want to kill him because he pisses me off.
That is certainly one good reason to kill someone, I suppose.
Where is the wine and the alcohol located?
That was in a corner of the room. And then there's
Eartha-
also like a bar along the back.
Yeah, Eartha is getting a bottle of wine, a bottle of vodka, just the stuff that looks the most expensive. She's got like 4 bottles as she turns and just walks past. And if Rolf is there, she's going to say, "Tell the council that Grushanka failed to protect the embassy. She did not have the guards where she needed them to be. She was shot twice with crossbow bolts. And has no idea who in the world may have done it. I think that's a failure on her part."
Oh, Layla will be so upset about that. Is she dead?
No, unfortunately. She's just almost dead. You might want to get some healers. Like, I think there's internal bleeding going on. Like, she shouldn't stay in that state very long. I'm going to go. Drinks have been awful. And tell the council that in lieu of Grushanka's gross negligence and failure to protect the interests of the house from her post here in Mao, and she just bows her head for a moment and then looks back up, that Eartha Kitty, formerly Ekaterina Tedjakoska, will be taking the position of ambassador to Siberia in Mao. But I'm not staying in this house.
Oh my.
And if they have a problem, they can come to my house and tell it me to my face. Now, excuse me, I'm missing my emotional support assassin and my 2 best friends. And she just heads out the front door.
And I think that's where we'll call it tonight.
Wahoo!
So what we do every night here is we usually end with we're gonna end with a raid, but first everybody is going to do a little epilogue saying what's going on in your character's brain and then tell us who you are. So I think we'll start with Jean-Pierre. Tell us what's going on in Jean-Pierre's head, and then tell us who you are in the real life and where we can find you.
Jean-Pierre just kind of floats up into the air as far as he can go to look over the city, Mao. And thinks how the air smells like revolution before going to try and see if he can find a meal. And hi everyone, my name's Cameron Blair. You can find me at Twitter at worldsmith_cam. I don't have anything to plug right now, but I just want to make sure that everyone is taking care of themselves and their neighbors. Right now is a really difficult time. Take care of the people next to you. Take care of the people that need it. Organize.
Marius, what's going on in your head?
If this is still on the rooftop.
You are very quiet.
Sorry. There you go. There we go. If this is still on the rooftop, he would have looked over at Erasmus and looked back because he's thinking about, I mean, a lot. He knew his father was killed. Now he knows the killer. Um, he knows his position in Mao. Is he going to confront his mother as much as he just confronted JP? Fuck no. Because that's a different sort of fear and agony and anxiety. He can kill people all day. He can fight people all day. He's fought many people. But standing up to somebody who literally birthed you and is currently ruling the nation, it's a little different. Um, he still has that anxiety. He doesn't know when that's going to happen. But now his hand is forced in a way. Um, because now potentially Mao's in danger. And that means not just he's in danger, but he has to start acting. This is like a wake-up call that he didn't realize he needed. Luckily, he was there for it. But his thought lingers on JP because he really just wants to rip his neck open. He hasn't been this angry in a while. And it's a twofold thing. Angry about him killing his father, but also angry for him psychoanalyzing, though he was correct, but also so far wrong at the same time. So it's one of those that's like, thank you for forcing me into the position I didn't want to be in, but now I am. But unfortunately, you won't like who this person is. Because he is a Mao. Tristan von Mao, to be specific. Not Trillian. That's what he's thinking about. Hi, I'm Omega, also known as Scooter Gabard. Almost hung up. I am doing a lot of things. But most importantly, I kind of want to talk about Sunday because a lot of things happen on Sunday. In the morning, you can catch me on Open for Adventure, being a hot mess over there. In the middle, you can catch me on my channel with Creature Collectors, which is a really cool game inspired by Pokemon, Digimon, all that stuff. But at 4 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, Into the Motherlands RPG is having their first session, which is a new Afrofuturistic setting, completely new using the Cortex system. Cypher of Tier and B. Dave Walters are leading that charge, along with Latia Hudjakis, Gabe Hicks, Jasmine, who was that bronze girl. Very cool cast, amazing. Show them all the love. Very excited about that. That's really me. Keep making trouble. Y'all know that. And to echo what Cameron said, please be keep your eyes and ears open for people who might need some support during these times. That's me.
Erasmus, what's going on in your mind?
As ever, Erasmus's thoughts tend to be short and to the point. And in this case, as Erasmus is, after watching this whole exchange with those two and what just happened, all Erasmus is thinking is that it's time for him to deal with this one way or another. Anyway, hi. I am Alan C. Johnson. You can find me at Twitter at Norlord Jenkins, where I do all sorts of fun writing, voice work, and other things. I do have some projects coming out in the month of October, but I will update you on those next week when I can actually go into more depth. That said, pretty much echoing what Cam and Omega have said already. These are rough times, and you got to take care of the people around you.
And Eartha, what's going on with you?
As Eartha gets her bottles and she's headed out after giving instructions to Rolf, and she's going out the front door, it echoes in her mind those words from Grushanka about the spirits of the dead rise from the bones and feast on the minds of the angry. And there's like a montage of every person that she's seen in the rebellions, JP, the different people, the common people, all the people who have a reason to be angry. and she can hear a melody in her head created from the screams of agony of those who don't have the ability to protect themselves. And it is a haunting mixture between a dirge and um, a funeral procession. And the only thing she can think about is the giant chessboard in her mind, where each person that she knows or cares about has been placed in a very specific position. And she's once more working for the household that has always revered the past. And she's finally at a position where she has no desire to revere it, but to use it to make a better future. And with that, I am Honey, aka Honey and Dice. You can find me on Twitter at Honey and Dice. You can find me on Instagram at Honey and Dice. There's just nothing there. I just didn't want anybody to take the name. I write games, I play games, I run games. I'm basically everybody's biggest cheerleader. Fun stuff going on. You can always find it on my Twitter, what's happening and so on. A lot of people are doing amazing things, and I try to retweet as often as I can to support them. So check out my Twitter page for some awesome things that people are working on. And as always, I'm going to encourage people to love your you. The Love Your Year t-shirt design, Love Your You t-shirt design is actually finished. I just have to find a t-shirt company that I want to send those through. And all the proceeds from selling those t-shirts will go towards buying things for people in domestic abuse shelters. Because there's a lot of everyday necessities that they still need. And through everything political going on, all of the COVID stuff, it's these people who are in positions that they never asked to be in, who are seeking sanctuary, who are seeking assistance, who are seeking help, who still need that same assistance and help. And these organizations are struggling right now to keep providing that throughout all of this. And sad to say, these are often the people who are the last on anyone's mind. So it's very important for me to make sure I remember those that a lot of people don't think about. So remember to love your you. And if that's hard today for whatever reason, and there's a lot of reasons why that's hard for a lot of people, but that's okay. Because it's okay to not be okay. And it's okay to be okay. And it's those people that have a little bit of that okay that can be there for the people that can't be okay. And it's this whole cycle of renewal that creates this beautiful community that a lot of us are in. So remember to love your you. Surround yourself by people who celebrate your successes. If they're not happy for you when you're doing well, those are not the people you want around you. And make sure you're with people that support you through your challenges, who ask you, what do you need in your time of need? And if whether you know me or not, I'm always going to be that person for you. So remember to love your you, and that I love you.
And you're still muted.
I love you so much, honey. I'm Jess. You know who I am. You might not know that I wrote for the Age of Sigmar Soulbound starter set, which came out yesterday. So check that out if you're into that thing. I wrote a one-page adventure for it. And coming out probably this week is Uncaged Tarot. So if you like Uncaged and you love reading tarot, watch my Twitter for that, because we've been working on it for like a year and it's finally coming soon. So thank you for spending your Tuesday with us. We will be back next week. Three Flings will be here on Friday. And be safe. We love you so much. And yeah, have a great night. We are going to raid Dicey Amazons. So take care, friends, and be safe.